In the award-winning memoir Genderqueer, Maia Kobabe deploys deceptively simple, symbolically rich visual metaphors to document our search for an authentic identity and to create empathy and understanding for the emotional needs and social pressures informing that search. For the most part, Kobabe employs an art style that falls within the realm of what Scott McCloud, referencing Charles Schulz's work in the comic strip Peanuts, calls, quote, straightforward, iconic maybe, but not filled with the expressive lines of a Munch or the colors of a Van Gogh. Smooth, clear line work is often associated with the most accessible comics, such as daily newspaper strips targeting large audiences and comics and cartoons aimed at younger readers. Kobabe further simplifies our style with sparse backgrounds and flat colors provided by Phoebe Kobabe. Kobabe's artistic choices are very deliberate, being directly linked to the book's central theme. Visual metaphors help Kobabe make this journey legible while preserving the complexity of identity. On numerous occasions, Kobabe interrupts our narrative with non-diegetic splash pages, i.e. full-page spreads, depicting key themes, concepts, and revelations related to gender. On this page, Kobabe pictures our identity as a plant with deep roots and many leaves inscribed with sometimes contradictory feelings about gender. Though the young Kobabe, quote, didn't have the language to identify the plant, end quote, the imagery emphasizes our contradictions as a complex and natural whole. Here, Kobabe depicts our questions about gender as a series of isolated yet interconnected questions. The spiral pattern in which E is trapped literalizes a mental spiral, yet the spiral also resembles a shell, that is, something natural but ill-fitting. Kobabe must grow into a better-fitting home. On this two-page spread, Kobabe uses the imagery of a scale to explain our struggle to achieve a workable gender balance. Notably, this metaphor acknowledges it may not be possible to truly escape the concept of gender, but we can, with thought and effort, question and negotiate gender. Kobabe's visual metaphors are tools of empathy, reflecting comics scholar Esther Sepp's argument that in autobiographical comics, the hand-drawn representations of the body of the author can create particularly powerful, effective transactions between creators and readers. In his article, Why They're Censoring Comics Again, Aaron Kashtan argues the same qualities that make genderqueer accessible and affecting contributed to calls to censor it. According to the American Library Association, Genderqueer was America's most challenged book in both 2021 and 2022. Writes Kashtan, quote, just as comics' formal properties can make them capable of presenting information more effectively than prose could, comics' formal characteristics can also make them more vulnerable targets of censorship, end quote. Of course, the basic content of Kobabe's memoir could offend anyone who is convinced that LGBTQ+ identities are immoral. Yet as this video has discussed, the content of Genderqueer is inseparable from its style, being intrinsic to both its perceived danger and its undeniable power.